The clock is ticking. We are now just a month away from kids going back to in-person learning at Kalamazoo Public Schools.
Tonight, the Board of Education meeting for the first time in the 2021-2022 school year to approve teachers' union contracts.
Our Maria Serrano is live in studio to explain the contract stipulations they've agreed to and the open positions that need to be filled ASAP.
That's right, Andy. I just checked the Kalamazoo Public School District's website, and there are over 88 open positions, but fewer than 20, though, are open teaching positions. As you can see in this graphic, here's a breakdown. 14 open elementary school teaching positions, 3 high school and 2 middle school. Overall, the board voting tonight to approve a 2-year contract between KPS and employee associations like the Kalamazoo Education Association. That's the teachers union that represents the district's educators, as well as food service managers and Kalamazoo support professionals. Now, this 2-year agreement was ratified by each group, and the board says it's within their budget. Here are some specific economic changes. The new collective bargaining agreements include a 2% on schedule increase in salaries for both the 2021-2022 and 2022-2023 school year, along with an annual 1% off schedule payment. Now, overall, the district is continuing the 80% employee insurance cost, which is consistent with past years, and the board says it applies to all union and non-union employees. Now, throughout the meeting, not a lot of discussion from the board on these contracts, but the district says it's happy to come to the table with these 3 settled agreements as members of these employees, they say, provide important services to students, families, and school personnel.
I appreciate that we have a little bit more money right now. This very soft money. It won't be there in a couple years, but I am pleased that these contracts are concluded and agreed upon before the start of the school year. That is always a huge improvement in morale and belief.
And the school board president ended the meeting tonight by saying the board encourages everyone to apply and work for KPS. Now, the first full day of school is August 31st. The superintendent said in the meeting that there are 548 students enrolled in virtual learning this coming year, and masks are required for everyone in KPS buildings for at least the first trimester.
Tonight, we are diving into that $400 million donation to the Kalamazoo Foundation for Excellence and what it means for the city and the people who live there. News Channel 3's Trisha McCauley joins us live in studio to tell us who decides how it's spent. Trisha.
Well, Erica and Andy, now we don't know where the anonymous donation came from, but the Foundation for Excellence Board oversees where the money goes, and the Kalamazoo City Commission has to approve how the money is spent.
To date, the Foundation for Excellence has invested more than $120 million in the city of Kalamazoo for things like stabilizing the city's budget, lowering taxes, and community projects. The foundation's manager says it spends about $10 million a year on projects that community members come up with through the Imagine Kalamazoo program.
The residents of Kalamazoo are the beginning and the end of the process. So the Imagine Kalamazoo plan involves ideas, programs, projects, needs that have been identified.
Foundation for Excellence manager Steve Brown says the foundation and the city don't know exactly how the $400 million donation will be spent just yet.
Some of the major areas of investment are affordable housing, our infrastructure repair, so this is sidewalks, trees, removing non-copper water services like lead pipes, youth programs.
City staff says they work with community members to put together projects and then take the ideas to the foundation's board of directors. 5 elected officials and 10 community members sit on the board. They offer input and recommendations to the Kalamazoo City Commission, which has to approve any project before it's adopted into the city budget.
It operates at that overlap between municipal government and philanthropy. So things like sidewalks, even things like affordable housing, these are areas that traditional philanthropy wouldn't necessarily be involved with. So the FFE is able to bring a new kind of development and investment into the city.
Brown says with this $400 million donation, bigger projects are in the works but have not been approved yet, so we couldn't provide any further details. If you have an idea for a project that you'd like to see in your neighborhood, submit that idea to Imagine Kalamazoo.
From Naomi Osaka to Simone Biles, we've seen athletes on the world's biggest stages take time off to focus on their overall mental health.
For the third year in a row, the Michigan High School Athletic Association is adding mental health training for coaches to the rules meetings that are happening right now. News Channel 3's Jay Shitara joining us live from Schoolcraft High School, where he spoke to the school's football coach. Jay, he tells you this past year took a toll on many athletes.
Yeah, Kirk, that's absolutely right. Nathan Ferenczi, the head football coach of Schoolcraft High School, tells me that last year was extremely tough, especially with all of the uncertainty because of that COVID-19 pandemic, even bringing on a 56-day pause. A lot of those kids weren't able to see each other for their after-school activities. Now, he has a rule. It's called the 5-touch rule. You have to give a teammate 5 high fives or any other positive reinforcement throughout a practice, but that was taken away last year because of the pandemic. Ferenczi says the little things being taken away have such a big emotional impact on his team. With a normal summer so far, Ferenczi says even in a non-COVID year, you have to be prepared to help your kids with what they are dealing with.
Even in a normal year, those things happen. Kids have a lot going on in their lives, whether it's at home, whether it's at school, whether it's with their peers, whether it's with a sports team. I mean, kids are changing and growing, and their brains are developing, and they're trying to figure all that out at the same time. So it's our job to help them cope through that. Outside, there.
Now, Ferenczi says mental health is as important as treating an on-field injury. Last year's rules meeting included a video focusing on how to help kids through a pandemic, since, let's be completely honest, none of us had really been through a pandemic before. In about 30 minutes, we'll hear from the head trainer of this Be Nice program for mental health training. Reporting live in Schoolcraft, Jay Shitara, News Channel 3.